So, hi everyone. Welcome to today's session. So, here we are back with another session for Hear the Learner. I am Suraj. I'll be taking today's session, and we are going to talk about how anyone can build a career in digital marketing, or break into the domain of digital marketing. And we'll talk some more about intern Shala's digital marketing specialization. So today with us we have Bishwashree Mishra. Bishwashree has been one of our many successful candidates. She has enrolled in digital marketing specialization and has been successful in breaking into the digital marketing agency. She has had a great journey until this point with us. She has recently joined Target, which is an amazing company, as a copywriter, creative copywriter. So welcome to the session, Vishwashi. How are you?
Hi, Suraj. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well too. It is so good to have you with us today. So you can share your experience, with the viewers here. Tell them about how you found JOS, how digital marketing. So before getting started with all of that, I would like to know from you what digital marketing is according to you, and why did you choose digital marketing as your career?
Digital marketing, I think it's a very broad term, and I think it is quite misleading also because then people think it's all about advertisements that you see on Google or Amazon, but digital marketing is a lot deeper than that. If you see like all the content that you see on Facebook, it is not, by luck that it's the content that you like, because it's that an algorithm is studying you in the background and it's pushing out the kind of content that would hit you. And that's the case with any social media at this point. This is just one example. And then if you see influencers, for example, if they are talking about this particular product they are using, that is also not by chance. That is also part of digital marketing. So I find digital marketing very interesting, and because it is the best way to approach our generation. I come from Generation Z, and I'm sure most of the people watching are too. And so the best way to approach us is through the internet, and digital marketing has grown immensely in the past few years. That is what drew me in. And I always had a knack for writing. So now, fortunately, I'm at a position where I can write and, do actually see some tangible changes. So that is what attracted me.
That's amazing. Having a chance to do something which you enjoyed doing. I mean, that's a dream come true for most of the people, aspiring to get into the job industry, aspiring to make a living after completing their education. So a big congratulations for that. And what I believe uh, about digital marketing, from your explanation, what I can understand is maybe that internet has enabled us to reach out to a very wide audience, right?
Yes.
Right. So, like from traditional marketing, this looks very nice. You should buy this. So that is a mouth to mouth kind of a marketing thing happening. But internet has expanded that and blown it out completely out of the water, and now one person sitting at their own house can tell about product A to Z to everyone around the globe. Is that something which has actually happened?
Yeah, absolutely, Suraj. I mean, the kind of impact that has come with digital marketing is immense. And I think we don't see it in our daily lives because we grew up with the internet pretty much. But if you see what ads used to be like 20 years before and what ads are like today, like the way Zomato engages with its customers, for example, on Twitter, that's all part of digital marketing. And I think that's pretty mind blowing that there are a million little ways you can do it in.
Right. So, Zomato kind of reminds me of the notifications which they give us, on a regular basis. And, even if you're not hungry, you feel like, maybe I should order something. because this
Yeah.
notification was so nice. Now I feel hungry. So yeah, that is again, more about digital marketing, that any kind of communication nowadays which you're getting, it might or might not be digital marketing. But this kind of brings an idea to my mind, that how do we understand what is marketing, what is real? Because influencers are also doing marketing, but we can't understand if it's a genuine review or if it's a marketing. So what do you think about that?
So, if I were to talk about influencers in particular, I think you can safely say that 80 to 90% of influencer reviews are very honest, and it is not planned. So, when we approach influencers, we don't give them a script, we just give them a product. And some of the bigger influencers you will see, they'll give you the positives and the negatives. So, I think the human touch in digital marketing is also very necessary, because if you don't have that kind of human touch in marketing, people will know when it's marketing. Like, for example, if you read a restaurant review, you tend to read the negative reviews more, because the positive ones are always okay, great
Right.
taste, great food and stuff. But the negative reviews is where it's at, and the only reason you can even see negative reviews is because the restaurant wants you to. So there's a human,
Right.
yeah, there's a human element to advertising marketing in general, because without that it all sounds very robotic and people would not buy it basically. So that's
Correct.
why the value added content is a very important part of marketing these days, and I think that has also come from digital marketing only.
Right. I mean, this sounds such a new thing to me. So many things have unlocked now, and to know more about what we can do in digital marketing. We would first like to understand from you, what your educational background has been like. What kind of professional experience you have had before you have joined Josh, and then how did you decide on digital marketing? As you said, you liked writing, but how did you decide on doing a course in digital marketing?
So I when I was in school, actually 11th and 12th, I took up science. And then for my bachelor's, I chose mass communication, and for my master's, I did advertising. So I've been in this line for academically, I would say. And after completing my master's and during it as well, I was working as a support worker. So that was social work for people with disabilities. And at the same time, I was doing event management for my university. So I was conducting events, I was talking to prospective students, and basically going around places promoting the university. That was my primary job then. And later on, when I started the Josh program, my major attraction towards the program was that I will learn A to Z of digital marketing. I've always been a creative person. I've always been very fond of writing and even designing. I started designing during my master's, but to do it professionally was a bit tough. And I really felt like the creativity alone would not help. It is very important to know the technical sides of things. And when I saw all the modules that you guys have and the instructor, Mr. Amitabh Verma, when I saw that he's the instructor, when I read about him, when I followed him on LinkedIn, I realized that this is something very, very authentic. And I thought this is something worth a try, because I do want to make a career in digital marketing. And I started Josh, and in between I got placed for Target. So now I use what I learned at Josh on a daily basis. And I think I use what I learned in Josh a lot more than I use my master's or bachelor's, to be honest. So yeah, it's been a very helpful course.
That's amazing. And I mean, you also mentioned about Mr. Amitabh Verma. So I believe you should also talk about that. He has been one of the pioneers of digital marketing. In general, digital marketing is a very new field. It has, it's almost like 15 to 18 years old, not older than that. And Amitabh has been, in there right from the beginning of it. He has worked with Google as a SMB head, small to medium business head, and he has done a lot of things. Now he is, the founder of Arm Digital. So learning from someone like him, with who has pioneered this industry, has seen everything which has happened through it, and he's still leading it. And learning from someone like that. So what was the experience like for you to learn from someone who has seen it all in the industry?
So, okay, it was, first of all, it was very enlightening seeing someone like that. And you do not realize it till you have doubts, and then you can see how much he knows, because whatever you ask him, he has an answer for that. And as you mentioned, he's been there since the beginning, so he's basically seen everything grow into what it is today. And I think all of our interaction sessions have been amazing. I even had my viva session with him sometime in August. And back then I was employed already, so we were talking about the career in general, and the process in which I should excel in my career. So I think he's a very insightful person. He's the kind of person who can really guide you about how you should proceed with digital marketing. Or even if you're not in digital marketing, he can still guide you pretty well, because he's seen the whole journey as an employee to a business owner himself. So I think that was a very great thing to have. A very huge kudos to Josh for bringing him in, honestly.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for that. So, you mentioned that you have done, your educational background is in, advertisement. You have been fascinated by marketing for a while. But a lot of our viewers who are here today, they do not have that kind of a background. They have either been an engineer, they have either done their BComs, or they have done something else, in education, and now they have realized that digital marketing is the thing. It is going to boom and blossom into something very extraordinary in the future, and now they want to get into this industry. So what do you think, is it possible for someone who has had a very different educational background to get into the marketing industry or digital marketing industry, and actually make a difference and be there?
Suraj, if I'm being honest, I've seen more people from outside of mass comm and advertising in digital marketing than I have seen people doing the courses similar to mine. So, yes, anyone can. And I'll tell you why. Because digital marketing as a field is very logical. Creativity is one side of it, and I'll say you cannot really imbibe creativity, but you can definitely have the kind of logical and technical reasoning, which I think people in engineering have mastered basically. And I say that coming from a team which has like 5 engineers. Like, we are a team of 14 people and we have 5 engineers. So we've got program leaders, we've got writers, we've got graphic designers as well in our team, who come from engineering backgrounds. So I think background really does not have much to do with this. Because, like in engineering, you work with a lot of software, and digital marketing is similar. You need to be able to analyze. I guess that's where BCom and actually, one of my colleagues is a bachelor's in mathematics, and
Okay.
according to him, it is pretty easy for him to understand and analyze Google reports. So he's like our go-to person for that. And so, yeah, I definitely believe that anyone can break in, because it's a very logical thing to do. And don't ever
Right.
think that because you come from a different background you cannot shift. You can always make that shift, and at any point in your life, basically, if you are interested in it, you can. I mean, I had from a very young age known that I wanted this line to be my career. But yeah, my aim still was changing, and earlier I wanted to do journalism, and then I shifted to advertising. So you can definitely make that shift from anywhere.
I mean, that's really inspiring, कि understanding that you can change your career whenever you want to, and there is no restriction. And again, I believe internet has played a huge part here. Now that we have so many options unlocked in terms of careers. We can learn anything from the internet, and get well versed with it, connect with people who are, who have seen it all, like Amitabh, and learn from them as well. So I think it's a very freeing experience to know, I'm not restricted in terms of my career. So thanks about that answer, Vishwashi. Now we would like to know, often we are asked how to break into the digital marketing, industry as a fresher, or uh, how digital marketing, industry takes in people in general. Does it have to be, a role in telecalling or sales, and then only you can transition into, digital marketing in the future, or is it possible to, directly land a digital marketing role?
So Suraj, as you mentioned, sales and telecalling is like one very small part of digital marketing, and a very small part of digital marketing. Although it's a huge field in itself, but digital marketing is a lot more than just sales. As I mentioned before, digital marketing is everywhere, and it targets you in different ways. Like everything you do, everything you browse, there's a part of marketing somewhere. So it's not just direct sales. You're not always selling. Sometimes you're just giving people some value, like reviewers, for example. You're adding value to people's lives. Reviewers don't often get paid for everything, but it is a sort of marketing which helps the company in general. So there are a lot of different ways in which you can also approach marketing. And to make a career, I would say the most important part is finding what you like. So for me, it was writing, but not everyone might be interested in writing. And even with writing, there are a lot of things that come with it. There's short form, there's long form content writing, there are blogs, there are articles, there are social media posts. So met some people who write amazing social media posts, but you cannot make them write articles because they just can't.
Right.
They're not made for that kind of content. So just know what you're good at. And you obviously, at this point, like if you're doing your bachelor's already, or even if you've started a job, you already know what you're good at. So that is step one, know what you're good at. And step two is basically just apply. You have to keep applying. And what I've seen a lot is you're going to get rejected way too much, but the right kind of profile sees you. Because yeah, I know it as a student that when you make your resume and everything, you feel like, this is so good. Why am I not getting selected? Why am I getting ghosted? And that will happen because that's life and that's career. So you are going to get rejected a lot of times, but don't worry, hold on, and definitely don't settle for anything less. This is something I've learned from a job I picked up earlier, which I wasn't very happy in. So I decided to wait it out when I pursued this course. For example, I decided to take a break from job hunting and actually upskill myself and reapply. I know a lot of people don't have that kind of luxury. People have responsibilities, but do not settle for anything less than what you're worth. Just because you have a difficult time doesn't mean that you'll just go for any company which is not valuing you. So know your worth, know what you're good at, and always try to learn. Because I have noticed this in my company, in every company I've worked at. If you ask for help, people will help. Nobody doesn't want to help. So if you are a writer like me, for example, you can definitely approach the SEO team and ask them how they work. And this has especially helped me a lot because now I write ads. Earlier I used to be a social media person and I used to write articles, but I'd never written ads. And now my primary job role is writing ads because I understand Google, Facebook ads management, LinkedIn marketing so well. So just go ahead and ask people, ask questions. It's very important. And something like software, for example, the technical side of digital marketing, it can only come to you with trial and error. So go ahead, publish an article, try to make ads on Google. You don't have to run them, you just have to make them. And just know how the whole software thing works. Because I remember in one of the interviews that I had, I was applying for the copywriter position, and they asked me if I knew anything about SEO. And I told them that, yeah, I know a couple of things about SEO. I'm doing this course wherein they're teaching me Google Ads. And that my interviewer, who was also the head of the department, he asked me, oh, you know, Google Ads, can you do this? So he asked me a question, and I answered him correctly. And he said, you're the first writer who knows anything about Google Ads. So this really happens. People restrict themselves to one thing. Don't do that. Don't do that in your career. Even if you are going to be a writer, even for the rest of your life, don't just restrict yourself to writing. Learn about other things, learn about software. And I think down the line, it really helps you. Because if you compare our generation to the generation above ours, like our parents, they did just one job for their entire youth and, you know, just sort of retired from there. They never thought of shifting. But we as a
Correct.
generation, we tend to find better opportunities, and nowadays it can only happen if you're multi-skilled. Single skilled people are very easy to come
Yes.
by, so just make that kind of habit to learn, at least try to learn new things, learn the basics, so you'll at least impress the interviewers and then get the job that you like. So
Yeah, I believe that was really helpful for everyone who has been spending the time with us. So you mentioned that there is a lot of rejection which comes, there is a lot of upskilling which is required. So I'd like to understand from you that how do you pull yourself up from that rejection? How do you prepare for the next interview? What should be the strategy while going for a digital marketing interview according to you?
So, one thing that I always used to do while I was pursuing my bachelor's is that, you know, they have this question, why should we hire you? And I used to
Yes.
have the same answer everywhere. And I realized that even the employer knows it, that I'm copy pasting my answer in every application. Don't do that. Tailor your answers. Try to add in what is relevant to the company. That is step number one. So if the company is looking for an events manager, I will talk about the events that I've hosted. Why do I need to talk about the articles that I've written? So there is a lot of
Right.
tweaking that comes in with the very first step of a job application, and that is very important. And the second thing is, I have also worked briefly in recruitment, so I can tell you this: I've seen a lot of resumes, seen a lot of answers, and people really copy paste answers from, you know, Google searches, and they think that the HR wouldn't know, which is not the case. Your answer can, you know, if I simply copy paste your answer into the search bar, I will know exactly where you copied it from. So don't do that. Be honest. You can write in broken English, that is fine, but do not copy from a website, because we know when it's authentic and when it's not. And anyway, even if you do pass the screening round, people will know immediately that you sort of lied or copied the answer when you give the interview, because then they are talking to you live. So don't fake anything. You are allowed to talk and exaggerate your achievements, that is fine, but don't fake anything. Don't talk about something that you've never done, and do not copy answers from Google, because trust me, 1,500 students are doing exactly the same thing for exactly the same position. You're not standing out. So to stand out, be as authentic as possible. And if I were to talk about my rejections, I think I'm a very positive person in general. So every time I got a rejection, I just moved on. I was like, maybe this is not for me. And that is how your attitude should be when you're applying for jobs. I know it gets really annoying after a while. Like, you know, once I completed my master's and with the whole pandemic situation going on, the kind of jobs that I was getting were, first of all, very overworking and very low paying kind of jobs. And I was not satisfied. And I decided that I would rather wait than jump into something and, you know, just regret it every day. So rejection is okay. Just, you know, take some time off. If you're getting rejected again and again with no interview calls, for example, you should know that something is terribly wrong with your resume. You get it reviewed with somebody, you talk to somebody, you show them what you've written, because sometimes the very first step is wrong and we do not realize it. Like your resume, just because you know everything that's written in your resume doesn't mean the HR knows as well. And sometimes we forget to include the kind of information which will actually help us land the job. and we just sort of fill in a lot of random information like, okay, I used to be a swimmer in 5th grade. That's not relevant to any interviewer. It's not relevant to the job. So know what is relevant and have a good hard look at your resume. And don't be scared of the kind of reviews you will get if you run it by somebody else, because it is very important. You need to get a third person's opinion on that. And obviously constantly improve your answers and see, read your answers out loud. That is something I learned along the way, because in writing you do not realize how you sound, but the person who will be reading will be hearing your answer in their mind. So read it out loud and hear yourself and see if it makes sense. And I think you can catch a lot of errors right this way before proceeding with anything.
Right. So what I could understand from this is that the process is very delicate, and what we need to know is that you should be confident and you should never lie about anything.
Yes, Suraj. So yeah, don't, like, be your authentic self, and the company that wants your skills will want your skills. You wouldn't have to lie at all. And if you do lie your way through to a job, at least take the effort to learn that lie. To know how to do that something you lied about. And yeah, always keep abreast with new advancements in any technology, for example, and that is definitely going to keep helping.
That's amazing. So here I'd like to add a couple of things regarding the specialization in digital marketing. That in each step, which is very very delicate in the interview process, we have a all hands on deck approach where we cover everything from start. Be it resume making, cover letter creation, preparing for interviews, doing mock interviews. So the idea here is that we want to prepare you for everything, and we want to ensure that the candidate is confident, they are able to get things done by themselves, and they do not have the need to even lie for anything, because they are already at a level that companies seek them out. They do not have to actively search for stuff. They get seeked out just like you did. So that is what the idea is here, and that is what we are trying to prepare and trying to build via this program. So here I would like to understand from you that how were you chased by this company, and how did you get this role from Target?
It's kind of a funny story. I had applied to another company and I never heard back from them. So I was basically ghosted. I'm not even sure if they saw my email. But anyway, months later, they saw my resume, saw my LinkedIn profile, and they messaged me and said, "Hey, your profile looks good. Do you want to join our company?" And it was very awkward. It was like a whole circle, like me chasing them and then them chasing me, and said, "Yeah." And then the whole process, I think, for getting into Target was pretty straightforward, because my first round was a general interview with the head of the department wherein we talked about our experiences. I wouldn't even call it an interview, to be honest, because he sat and told me about his career journey and I told him about mine. So it was just a general exchange, and I really liked it because he made me feel very comfortable. He gauged what he had to, and he did not make me feel like I was on a pedestal, I was on hot seat or something. He was just constantly
Right.
bombarding me with questions and I would get scared. He wasn't like that. And my second test was a copy test wherein I was given 1 hour to complete the assignment while we were live. So while we were online on a call. So that sort of ensures that, you're not taking your sweet time to do research. You have to do it fast. And he told me very honestly, he said, I know you're a writer. That doesn't mean that you know every word in the English language. That also doesn't mean that you'll never Google in life. So Google all you want. I just need this assignment in 1 hour. And that is what I did. I completed it within 1 hour, and I think within the next 2 days I was given my contract and I started working the following week. So that is how it happened. Pretty fast track actually, because in many companies I've had 3 4 rounds, but I think if you're skilled enough, they would not even ask you to do all of that. And companies these days, they do seek out candidates. So when you make your resume, put it out anywhere, even on internshala. There are so many chat requests that I get from companies on internshala, and that is a very good process that internshala has created, wherein the employers can directly approach you. And so keep yourself very updated with all of that, no matter where you're applying from. Even on LinkedIn, upload your latest resume. On internshala, complete your profile, like up to the latest qualification that you have. Just do everything properly, keep it sorted, and you're definitely bound to get some responses.
Correct. So, that is actually a really, really great thing, and what I have realized personally is that, it's not that there are less amount of opportunities in the market. It's just that, the candidates need to level themselves up. They need to upskill. They need to work harder. They need to try, a bit more. That is the problem. It's not that the amount of jobs are less. There is a lot of opportunity in each sector. So, with that, I'd like to, move to the next part of this session. We'll take a couple of questions from the students and the viewers here, and we'll try to answer them. And yeah, so we'll start with that. We have a question from Harsh. Harsh says, where should we try to learn full digital marketing course? Okay, so Harsh, you can start learning digital marketing course right here from Internshala. We have our own, job oriented specialization in digital marketing, which Vishwashree has done herself. She has talked about her experience during this call, and I'm sure, just like her, you'll have a great experience learning and working with us. So let's move on to the next question. Madhu has asked, what's the best platform to learn digital marketing? Okay, so this question I would like to, forward to Bishwashree. What do you suggest? Which is the best platform to learn digital marketing?
I know it's gonna sound very cheesy, but do definitely look at Internshala's program. The reason I say that is because it is a very well structured program. So from the first module to the last, you are basically climbing steps, and it gradually increases in terms of difficulty, in terms of what is relevant. So this is a very good starting point. And if you think that this is not enough, I think you can, there are a lot of platforms actually where you can take certificate courses or even non-certified courses. It really depends on you what you're seeking out. There are a couple of websites that have really good articles, really good content on digital marketing. And I think even if you type digital marketing articles, these websites are going to pop up because they have done great SEO on their website, and they always come on top of the page. That is all part of digital marketing. But definitely do look at Internshala's program. And I'm not saying that just because I'm here. I'm saying that in all honesty.
Right. So this is not a self-plug thing which is happening, but it is actually a review. Is that correct?
Yes. No
All right.
scripts given.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So we have another question coming from Naman. He is saying, "Hello, Vishwashi. I am a digital marketing enthusiast too. Can you tell me more about the trending opportunities in this field?"
So, hi Naman. I would say because you're an enthusiast, you mentioned, there's two platforms I would like you to focus on, which is LinkedIn and Pinterest. I did not say Facebook and Instagram because you already know things are going on there, but Pinterest is rapidly rising. And as a B2C company, Target leverages Pinterest a lot. And this year alone, we have brought in some at least $10 million worth of sale from Pinterest. So it's a huge, huge arena. It has not built up quite a lot in India yet, but it is something to look out for. And if you want to learn something, this could be a very good social media platform to start with, because when it eventually does come to India, you will be abreast with it already and you'll be on top of it. So Pinterest is one. Second would be LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a massive platform, at least for B2B advertising. And even for B2C, it is quite helpful. And obviously, like personally, you can leverage it to build connections, build networks, find jobs. So these two, the marketing segment of these two social media is definitely very important. And learn Google Analytics by hearted, because it's an extremely important part of your job role as a digital marketing associate anywhere in any company. This is going to be like one of the first things they're going to ask you: do you know Google Analytics, or do you know how to run Google ads? So the Google software suite that they have, it's very important to learn all of that and practice on your own. Basically, don't just wait for projects to come around, but practice and fiddle with different options, and you'll figure out a lot of things.
Correct. So that was a great answer, I believe. So we'll just move on to the last question of this session. This is a question which has been asked by two people, Harsh and Naman. So they are asking, should we learn one course or multiple courses to upskill? So what would you suggest, Vishwashree?
I think, as I mentioned before, digital marketing is pretty much based on logic. So, if you take up something like the Josh program, for example, it has everything in a structure. So, you're going to learn Instagram marketing, you're going to learn Google advertising, everything. But if you want, you can start with maybe just the Google ads, because the funda sort of remains the same in Instagram and Facebook as well. It's just that the ads manager, for example, the interface changes a bit, but the funda is the same. You have to still look at the same kind of audience targeting, you have to look at the same kind of budgeting options, bid options, all of this you can learn for any one software. And I think this is pretty much a transferable skill. You can apply it to anything. So if you're not keen on doing a very long course, just take up one software. I would suggest Google, because Google is it's an industry leader. We all know that.
Right.
And the marketing that Google does is on a different level. Plus, Google Analytics really helps give you audience insights. No other platform gives you as good insights as Google. So, definitely could be a starting point for you. But otherwise, I would say even if you learn one software, you'll be able to work on any. It's not something that you constantly have to keep learning.
Correct, correct. So, with that, we would like to end this session. Thank you so much for your time, Vishwashi. And, I would like to also add one more thing here, is that digital marketing is not just, a place where there is a lot of opportunities for people, but it is also, the future. Even if you plan to do a startup in the future, even if you want to work in any company in any kind of role in the future, digital marketing is going to be there, and it is here to stay for a very, very long time. So irrespective of the domain which you are in, and irrespective of your future plans, everyone should know digital marketing to a certain extent, as it is going to help you guys later in the future for sure. So thank you so much for your time, Vishwashi, and thank you so much for joining us in today's session.
Bishwashree, hi. Looks like there has been some issue at Surat's end. Once again, thank you so much for joining us in today's session. And it has been great interacting with you as well as with our audience. So thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you so much for inviting me for this conversation. Really happy to share.
Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.